Welcome to Church Tech Unmuted, the podcast where faith, faders, and function come together. I'm your host, Felix Aguirre, founder of Faith Tech Pros. Whether you're mixing front of house, managing live streams, or training volunteers, this show brings you real-world advice, tech tips, and stories to help you serve with clarity and confidence. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to Church Tech Unmuted. Once again, I'm your host, Felix Aguirre from Faith Tech Pros. Today's episode is called Sunday Starts on Thursday. Whether your church is small or large, the one thing we all need is preparation. And I'm not just talking about the worship set. I'm talking about the tracks, transitions, in-ear mixes, tech systems, and most of all, alignment between your worship and tech teams. We're also going to spotlight a few tools I highly recommend, like Planning Center, Playback by Multitracks, and Loop Community's Track Rig to help your team stay synced and Sunday ready. Let's get into it. All right, segment 1, the Thursday rule, why starting early matters. Here's the truth. If you're still making big decisions on Saturday night, you're setting up for Sunday stress. The Thursday rule means having everything locked in by then. Set list, keys, tempos, tracks, slides, and transitions. Tools like Planning Center make this easier. I've spoken about Planning Center in the last 2 episodes, I believe. Planning Center is a great tool that every church should use. What doesn't matter what size you are, small church, large church, Planning Center is a great tool to keep everything in sync, to keep everyone on the same page. Worship leaders can upload the set, charts, demos, and arrangements. And if you are using multitracks, like, Playback by Multitracks offers something called Rehearsal Mix, which can get incorporated or integrated into Planning Center. And now your team can hear the individual parts, can hear what they're supposed to be playing or what harmony they're supposed to be singing. It's a great tool. It brings everything together. I love it. Techs can also review the set list, pre-build cues, and ask questions before rehearsal even starts, which that is really important for techs to know. Obviously, first of all, what the song is, what the orders are. And then if you do it on Thursday, it gives them a chance to listen to the music. Even if it's a song that, you've played a ton of times, it's great for your tech to listen to the song so they know what it's supposed to sound like, so they know, or at least come prepared with any leads or any solos or any intros or any key changes within the songs. That way they know exactly what's going to happen and they could, mix better, mix up the solos. If for whatever reason, key sounds too loud in a part, they know that in the song it's not supposed to be like that. They can tuck it, whatever it may be. It's great for them to be able to know what the worship team is playing and be able to listen to the songs before you come to rehearsal, before you start even playing the music at the church. That way everybody knows what's going on and everyone is ready to go. It also gives your tech team more time to better prepare their side of tech, their side of the worship, so that when the team comes on rehearsal day, everything is ready to go. Here's a simple checklist for tech, for example, that you could be preparing before the tech team comes after you've already received the set list and the order and everything on Planning Center. Number 1, tech can confirm click and cues routing in the in-ears. Number 2, they can finalize lyrics, slides, and Pro Presenter. Number 3, they can verify stage patching for any special elements that have been mentioned to you before in Planning Center. And number 4, they can confirm their audio playback hardware is working. We'll talk more on that later. The small shift in timing sets your team up for a focused, spirit-led weekend. Everybody on the same page. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody knows what is going to happen, what the transitions are, what the set list is. All of this is great to be able to prepare and have everything ready for when Sunday comes. There are no surprises. There's no fumbling around. There is no distractions for the congregation. That way everybody keeps their eyes on Jesus. Segment 2, organizing and labeling track sessions. Whether you use Ableton, Playback by Multitracks, or even Loop Community Prime, clarity matters. Here's some key tips. Number 1, label everything. For example, click, cues, pads, loops, BGVs, percussion, whatever you may have on your set. Number 2, use color codes in your DAW or playback software. This applies more if you are using a DAW for live stream, or if you're using a DAW to send plugins back to your console, such as Waves plugins or Auto-Tune or any plugins that you might be using live that you're using a separate computer with a DAW for. If you're doing that, it's awesome. I recommend it. Try to do that, especially the DAW for live stream. That is a game changer. So in this case, if you are doing that, you can use color codes in your DAW and make sure everything is labeled. Number 3, group your songs into a clear flow with named transitions like prayer, outro, intro, verse, whatever it may be. I mentioned earlier about using Playback by Multitracks, and Playback by Multitracks is great if you want automation, MIDI mapping, or to trigger lyrics via MIDI. It integrates tightly with Planning Center, which means sets update automatically. For example, if for some reason you need to change a song, we understand last minute things come up and you need to change a song, you change it on Planning Center, it will automatically update your multitrack set list. Playback by Multitracks is great. It's a great tool to use. Highly recommend for you to look up some videos on YouTube on how to use it, on what it does, on everything that it can do. It could do a ton. It can integrate with Pro Presenter. So when you hit your tracks, you use MIDI mapping through a MIDI network to automatically switch slides as songs progress. That way there is less chance of human error. Someone misses a slide and now the worship team is relying on the slides and they mess up the lyric, whatever it may be. We've all been there. But Multitracks is great. I highly recommend if your church wants to move with using tracks, or maybe you're already using tracks using, for example, Loop Communities Prime, and you want to move to something more professional, I guess, or more flexible, or gives you better quality. I highly recommend Playbacks and Multitracks. There's nothing wrong with Loop Community Prime, but each one does their own different thing, and they're both great, but I highly prefer Multitracks. That's what we use in my church, and it's been game changer ever since we implemented it during services, during rehearsals. Like I said earlier, it integrates with Planning Center, and on Planning Center, it puts all the files of the different individual parts of each musician and singer. That way everybody knows what they're coming into, or everybody is ready for the rehearsal that week. It also uses another app called Chart Builder, which keeps all the charts on file. Everybody has the same chart. Everybody knows that whenever the one chord on verse 1 is an A, everybody's playing an A, and no one's playing an A sus, an A2. Everybody is on the same page on what they're playing, and there's less chance for error, less chance for mistakes, or playing different chords as other people and sounding weird during the team. Multitracks is great. Duke Community has this device called the Track Rig, and the Track Rig is a clean, volunteer-friendly interface that lets you route up to 8 channels out of an iPad or a laptop or even an iPhone without the headache. All you have to do is plug it in, set it in the app, and you're ready. Whether you're using Prime by Loop Community or Playback by Multitracks, it both integrates into each one seamlessly, and you could route your different track channels. For example, at my church, we have tracks from outputs 1 through 6. We have percussion and drums on the first one, acoustic guitars, electric guitars on the second one. We have keys and pads on 3 and 4, sending them as stereo. We're running vocals and vocal effects on 5. We're running bass and sub bass on 6, and then 7 and 8 we're running cues and click respectively. And it's great. It allows you to split up those tracks for your front of house person to be able to have more control of what the mix sounds like and be able to EQ everything better. You can do it on both Multitracks and on Prime by Loop Community. Track Rig is a great tool. It's not super expensive. It's great. I highly recommend it, because a clear session helps new volunteers get up to speed fast and keeps the entire worship experience smooth. Segment 3, routing click and cues to in-ear monitors and front of house, and why stereo matters. Routing is everything, and here's where I want to introduce something crucial: a stereo in-ear monitor mix. Honestly, I recommend a stereo mix to all the musicians and vocalists if it's possible with your current setup at church, but sometimes it might not be possible for everyone. So you might want to just assign a stereo mix to I guess I want to say the most crucial people on the team, or the people who might need it the most. In this example, the music director, the worship leader, the drummer, the keys player, those who might need spatial awareness to feel the band. Mono mixes flattens your ability to lock in with cues and dynamics, and that's why your drummer, your music director, those who could benefit more from a stereo mix should have a stereo mix so it doesn't get flattened out, so they could feel the spatial awareness of the band. A stereo mix gives you, number one, separation between vocals and instruments. Number two, a better feel for pads versus rhythm elements. And number three, less ear fatigue and cleaner layering. I remember when I switched from a mono to a stereo mix at my church, and it's game changer. I can never go back to a mono mix. Sometimes I have to do worship at a different venue in the church, or maybe a different church or a different venue overall. And I always try to ask for a stereo in your mix, especially since I'm the music director. I need to be aware of what's going on and be able to hear different parts of each song and different instrumentation. And that's where the stereo mix allows you to do that, because you're able to pan things left and right, center, move things around, so that where you can hear everything, so that you are aware of what everyone in the team is doing. You're able to better lead them. I've tried using a mono mix before, I've had to use a mono mix before at different events after being on a stereo mix, and honestly it hurts. Like, it physically hurts as well. It creates that fatigue in your ear where everything is just center and you can't really differentiate parts, you can't really tell things apart, and now you have to pull some stuff out of your mix to clean up the mix itself, and then you're not listening, or you're not aware of what certain people are doing. Sometimes I've had to pull out background vocalists or maybe a couple of guitars. It's horrible. If you're using mono mix and that's all you use, I highly recommend for you to move to a stereo mix. Talk to church leadership, talk to your tech director, or if you are the tech director, try to make that change. It is a game changer. Your team will love you for it. And like I mentioned in previous episodes, we have to support our team. We have to encourage them. We have to give them what they need. And honestly, a stereo mix, game changer. Something that I do with my stereo mix, for example, is I will pan my click dead center, and I'll pan my cues to my right ear. That way I can lower the volume a little bit, and I know I'm not going to miss the cue of the song. If I'm not aware, if I'm spacing out, or if I don't remember what's next, I can hear that cue come in, and I know I'll hear it because it'll be on my right ear and it will catch my ear when it comes up. I have stereo instruments like keys, panned hard left and right. Our guitar player uses a stereo mix from his Helix, and I have that pan left and right as well. And then I usually try to pan vocals across the whole spectrum. So I'll do like Vox 1 center, the main voice. Then I'll split the other ones, like Vox 2 hard left, Vox 3 right in the middle between left and middle. If we have more than 3 vocals, this is what I would do. If not, I would just throw Vox 3 over hard right and leave that spread. But if we do more than 3 vocals, I would throw Vox 4 hard right, or in between center and right, and then Vox 5 hard right. So I would adjust it, on the whole span of the left right mix that I'm getting, and it cleans up everything. I'm able to hear everything a lot better. Obviously, I'll leave like the crucial instrument center, like bass, kick, snare, but then I'll pan the toms from left to right, depending on however I want them. I'll pan the overheads on the drums. It cleans up the mix so much. It's great. This is the kind of things that your tech team can prepare with enough time. If they have the set list and they have all the notes and everything by Thursday, they can start creating these mixes. They could, have them ready before the team comes up, do like a basic mix of what the keys player, the drum player might want to hear. And then that way the team comes in and it's already almost set. They just have to tweak it slightly, do some fine adjusting, and then not waste a ton of time during sound check, during, getting the ears right, and go straight into the rehearsals. Segment 4, rehearsing with purpose, flow over flash. You've got your tracks routed and labeled, but now it's time to practice transitions. It's one thing to play songs well, it's another to flow between them. I've been at churches where they don't do transitions between their songs. Like one song ends hard and then people are shifting through their pages or iPads to try to find the next song. And then the next song starts just right away. No transition. I guess for me, it could be distracting since I'm a musician and I would love to blend those songs, blend those transitions. But sometimes it could be awkward for the congregation too, because then they're just standing there. Maybe they clapped after the first song and then now they're just standing there waiting for you to start the next song or see what's going on. And then that just creates a distraction. Now they're disconnected from worshiping the Lord and now they're focused on you. What's the next song? What are you going to do next? Transitions are important, and it's great to be able to practice those transitions during the rehearsal time, which you can only do if you have the set list and everything ahead of time on, in this case, Thursdays. During the rehearsal, there are a couple of things you can do. I guess we can call them rehearsal priorities. Number one, practice the space between songs, like I was talking about just now. Try to minimize that space between the songs as much as you can. Number two, cue lyric and lighting triggers. This might apply to more bigger churches that are using different lighting fixtures, but even with the small churches that are using smaller lighting fixtures or, have some lighting, you can still trigger them and use them to your advantage to make those transitions between the songs or between segments during the service. And number three, test automation. If you use MIDI cues from playback, like I was talking about earlier, you can set up automation from playback. You hit go, the song starts playing, the tracks start playing, and it automatically transitions your slides for you in Pro Presenter. This is something that you should be practicing. You should be testing out during service. That way, if any issue arises, you can fix it there, or at least have an idea of how to fix it if it happens again during service. That we're not figuring it out during service with the congregation there in the middle of worship. It's crucial to practice these things, especially all the issues that can happen with tech, everything that could go wrong. It's great to just practice it. Just hit play, have your Pro Presenter set up, and then just have your slides transition and pay attention to it. If anything goes wrong, see what happened, try to fix it, be ready for Sunday. Definitely encourage worship leaders and techs to talk during rehearsal. For example, you could tell the tech, hey, front of house, when this pad starts, fade to black, or tell them, hey, after the bridge, can you count me in on 4 just so I don't miss that cue? It's something that we do in my church when we will do like special opening videos for special services like Easter or Christmas. We have front of house count us down the last 10 seconds of the video so that we could start with the transition we practice. So for example, this past Easter, we had our front of house guy start counting us down from 20. When it hit 15, I hit play on playback and it started counting the click in for the next song. And then once the video was over, we had already been in the transition from the video to the first opening song. And it all worked out real good. Like it was great. Like it looked really cool. It kept the congregation connected. It didn't cause a distraction. It didn't cause any awkward pauses or anything. It was great. So I definitely recommend practicing these things during rehearsal. And keep in communication with the tech. You can keep in communication with front of house or with broadcast. You could let the broadcast guy know, hey, I want to do this for broadcast instead, and it'd be different for front of house. This is the time to do it during rehearsal. This kind of intentional practice creates real-time unity. And, talking about tech and tools, like I was saying earlier, the rehearsal mix that Multitracks offers lets everyone prepare with the same version of the song, the same chart, the same chords, and there's no more guessing where the bridge lands or how many bridges we're doing, or hey, what's the chord to lead us into the bridge or lead us out of the bridge. Like everybody will know already because they've had the material, they've had the time to prepare this. They are using the same chart. Everything works flawlessly. Segment 5. The Tech Sync, your 10-minute Sunday morning huddle. Even with all your prep, Sunday can throw curveballs. That's why you need a pre-service sync or a pre-service huddle where all your worship team and tech team are part of it and everybody is able to talk and be on the same page of the flow of service for the day. I would recommend at least 10-minute tech huddle where everyone checks in, lyrics, front of house, broadcast, video, lights. Everyone checks in. Everybody says, yeah, we're good to go. Everything is tested. Everything is ready and set to go. No issues. Or hey, yeah, I'm having an issue with Pro Presenter here, but I already know what's going on. I'll fix it before that. Or, hey, this is not going to happen today. This broke and there's no way to fix it before service starts in an hour. Whatever it may be, this is the time for that communication. You can also walk through the service order, as I've mentioned in previous episodes. Just have your worship leader or your music director or production manager, whoever you have in charge of the tech of the service flow, just have them go through the service flow. Hey, this person's opening service, or we're opening service with this song. We're doing this many songs on top. Then this person's coming out for announcements. Then we're doing a couple more songs for the offering pickup. Then pastor comes out, preaches the sermon, and then at pastor's cue, which is whatever his cue is, keys will come out or the band will come out and prepared for an altar call or prepared to close us for service, whatever it may be. Just go through that flow with the team at that huddle in the morning. And also clarify who's on what, who's on comms, who is triggering tracks, who is responsible for monitoring the live stream or the comments on YouTube, or monitoring displays in the house to make sure that everything is working, or whatever you have to watch. Just assign people and let them know who is responsible for what for that service. You can also use Planning Center's run sheet on a tablet, or even if you want to print it and put it on a clipboard, or even on a group text. What matters is that everyone is on the same page and everyone knows what's next. This kind of rehearsal really helps solidify the team and really helps keep everyone on the same page, and really helps to point everyone to Christ. That's our final purpose, to point the church towards him, to reduce the amount of distractions that can distract the congregation from worshiping him and from keeping their eyes on Jesus. That's what these rehearsals are for. That's what all this prep is for. That's what Planning Center, the Thursday rule, huddles, prayer, that's what all of this is for, to glorify him, point the church towards him, and cause the least amount of distractions that we can. All right, let's wrap up. Sunday success isn't about luck. It's about systems, communications, and preparation. Your 5 takeaways from this episode were: number 1, follow the Thursday rule for all prep. Number 2, use Planning Center to sync your teams. Number 3, build clean, labeled tracks in playback or prime. Number 4, prioritize stereo IEM mixes or in-ear monitor mixes for everyone, or at least for key people in the team. And number 5, run a Sunday morning tech huddle every single week or every single service. All right, I have another challenge for you guys this week. Set aside 30 minutes on Thursday to test stereo routing, confirm Planning Center info, or relabel your playback session. Small moves make a big Sunday impact. Do you need help building a sustainable system for your worship and tech team? That's exactly what we do here at Faith Tech Pros. Book a consultation at faithtechpros.com, and let's serve your church with clarity and excellence. Once again, if you found this useful, share it with your team, share it with your tech directors, with your pastor. And until next time, keep your crew synced, your cues clean, and your worship unmuted.